Hi, welcome to another episode of your favorite podcast, Real Estate Unleashed. I am your co-host, Bridget Quinn. You can find me on social media, B Quinn Realtor.
And I'm Regan Hildebrand. You can find me on all social media at Realtor Regan. Welcome, Bridget.
Welcome.
So today we're going to dive in a little bit to the world of websites for home shopping.
I think so.
Got some good things to kind of share about the different sites and the different stuff that we as agents use versus what consumers, if you're watching and you are maybe just out there looking at sites, browsing passively,
Randomly.
casually, or you're getting serious about your home shopping.
Yep.
Talk a little bit about maybe some of our favorite sites, maybe the pros and cons of a few of them.
We have a lot of them. That's
A
for
lot
sure.
of pros and cons, yeah. A lot of websites too.
Yep.
And I think, we're talking about websites for home shopping or listing your house, those kind of things. I don't know. I think at one time I read that just our data goes out to maybe like 400 websites for different homes and different listing services,
Doesn't
which
surprise me.
it's overwhelming. It's it's a lot for a consumer to have to decide where to look for for whatever home shopping they're doing, right?
Oh, so many options out there for sure.
Yeah. The big one, of course, is Zillow. The big Z.
The big Z.
Which I think, most people probably end up at some point on Zillow, even if it's just for casual searching, or Zillow Gone Wild, we talked about before, is a great Instagram and TikTok account if you just want to see some maybe jaw-dropping examples of
For sure.
do's and don'ts.
For sure.
Yeah.
Well, I think some of it too is like the site itself is actually pretty user friendly. It's very intuitive, and clients can use it with ease. I can use it with ease. It's just the information is not always right on it. That's my big conundrum.
Yeah, so with any kind of real estate website, it's only as good as the data that it presents back. And one of the big arguments against some of the sites like Zillow, we're not going to just single out Zillow, is that the data is not always going to be reflective of either the actual property, maybe also not accurate to the current status of the property, meaning is it available or is it under contract? If it's under contract, what does pending mean versus under contract or contingent?
Yeah.
Those are some things that I hear a lot of people ask about. Well, I'm looking at this house, and on one website it says pending, on the other it says contingent, and on the other it says under contract. And what's the difference between the three?
Not really anything. I mean, we have different MLSs have different statuses as well. For ours in the Charlotte area, we have under contract where you can still show the house, or you have under contract, which is no show, that obviously they don't want any more people going to see that house, period. So those two different status just go into those websites differently. And that's why I think some of them have the different look.
Yeah, so each website will pull that data, and they're pulling from hundreds, if not thousands, of different sources. And to your, like what you're talking about with the Charlotte MLS, what we call Canopy MLS, which is our local multiple listing service that we primarily serve around here. Yeah, it's got a couple different statuses. Different MLSs can have their own. Different states have their own piece. Some states you might be able to show for a backup or accept backup offers. Other states you might not.
Right.
It all depends on like that whole point of, a lot of states call it being an escrow. In North Carolina, we primarily call it being under contract.
Right.
It's just so much different data in the way it presents. It's confusing. So for that reason, I think Zillow can confuse people who are seriously home shopping.
Yeah.
And is it even being updated in real time?
Probably not.
Yeah, so a lot of times, and it's not just Zillow, I've had customers or clients reach out and say, hey, I saw this house, can we go see it? And they'll give me the address, and I'll look it up in one of these sites like Zillow or Realtor.com, and it will still say active, but when we look in our MLS data, it's showing the under contract or under contract no-show. So it's not getting that feed of the information.
Right.
So, yeah.
I mean, to me, it's more of a, if you're thinking about buying, or it's that pie in the sky, hey, let me take a look at what's at this city. That's sort of what I think of it as, is more of a, just the window shopping.
It is. And for customers that are looking for maybe to narrow down where they want to move to, if they're moving outside of their local little current area,
Right.
if you're moving out of state, out of city, using a Zillow or a realtor.com or a Redfin, those sites give you nationwide access to pretty much all, not all, every single one, but the bulk of homes that are listed or any other type of property.
Right.
So it's hard to ignore them for that reason. But, still, like you were saying, the actual status of it, the data that's on there about the house features is not always going to be trustworthy. It just can't be because of how all these different MLSs push their
And we've already
information
talked
out.
about the Zestimates too, like what it says the house is worth. I might as well just throw a dart on a chart somewhere and see if it's the same.
There was an agent in one of our local networking Facebook groups who asked the other day, how can I get Zillow to, who do I need to contact at Zillow to fix the Zestimate on this house?
Good luck, you
You
can't.
can't. I mean,
It's their own algorithm.
it's an algorithm that's just pulling in and it's coming up with, like you said, a dart thrown number. And no one that you're going to reach, at least on a local level, is going to be able to fix that or change it. It's one person's, well, not one person, one website's approximate,
Random.
I'm using the Z in there.
Approximation.
The zestimation of value.
Lord.
Yeah.
I will say it is one of the sources, that and realtor.com, that I like to use, is just to kind of search out other real estate agents. It's part of my process when we talked about it before. If you are looking for a referral for a state that I don't handle, guess what? I'm going to do research. And part of that is pulling those reviews from Zillow or from realtor.com or what have you.
Yeah, I don't use Zillow for my own searching of properties, but that's a great point, is that I take a lot of pride in making sure that my reviews from past clients are on Zillow. Some people don't want to sign up for Zillow.
And it's easy for people to leave reviews for you.
Yeah.
I mean, that's, I asked for Realtor and I asked for Zillow, and then obviously whatever they send, I put it up on my own social media. But, that's Zillow as far as, again, ease. It's easy to ask for that, testimonial or review. So
Yeah,
that part I do like.
it is. It's great because you can point people in that direction. So yeah, if you're talking about best website to use for a home search, maybe it's not the home search, maybe it's an agent search. I think a lot of agents, at least over the years, have used Zillow to gather reviews and collect them in one place.
Sure.
I've gotten a little bit further away from it lately just because of the wall that Zillow tries to build around everything.
Right.
So I've tried to ask clients to also go to other websites, maybe realtor.com, but Google now does a great job of curating. So kind of brings up another point, like, can you use Google for home search? Yeah. I mean, it's going to at least give you the address.
Yeah, I was going to give
and
you the
point you to
address,
that.
but
And sometimes if a client says, well, I drove past this property and I think this is the address, I can pop that into Google and it's going to kick out from all
Options.
these, maybe a couple dozen different sites that might list that. And it's going to have Zillow probably at the top, realtor.com, Redfin. And just moving away from just talking only about Zillow, the other big ones are those two R's.
oh sure.
Realtor.com, you said you use it for reviews and that kind of thing. It's so also to clarify for anybody who's watching this, realtor.com is actually not in any way associated with the National Association of Realtors.
Oh, it's completely different.
So, yeah.
Don't be confused.
It's actually owned by move.com, I think is the parent of it, and move.com, if I remember correctly, is still owned by News Corp, which
Sounds
big
right.
media conglomerate. Move.com or someone down the road years ago purchased the domain from the National Association of Realtors. And for a while there was some tie-ins.
Dumb.
Not anymore, really. Yeah. It's all changed hands so often that don't confuse the two. Realtor.com has the license to use the name, but it's not the National Association of Realtors site.
No.
Yeah.
I mean, there's perks to using those versus Zillow a little bit. It's, again, ease of just usage, and again, just kind of the agent reviews, I think, is big on those too.
Yeah, and every site has a few different things about it. And, we've had clients in the past that have come from those sites, like they found our listings through them or things of that nature. They all have a lead generation piece to them as well, where we kind of find people that are home shopping and we connect with them in that way. And those are paid sides for agents. But on the on the consumer side, though, I have actually asked a lot of clients what they prefer as a website, and most of them go with like a Realtor.com if they're serious about the search. But the one that always surprises me is Redfin. Redfin has a very powerful search tool that lets you filter out things really nicely. So I think that some people gravitate towards that if they're power users. But then the piece that I think a lot of people don't realize is you don't even have to use those sites at all. If you know where you're searching, if you're searching in a specific area and you've narrowed it down to that geographic area, the best way to actually do your home search is through your agent provided website.
Right.
And we're not talking like a Bridget or a bquinrealtor.com or even a Home Team Realtor, the HomeTeamSales.com, which is our firm site.
Right.
We're talking about our MLS portal.
Right.
Which
is really good because, again, you're getting, straight from the horse's mouth, the information, whatever the current status is, any available. You can have it email you, as soon as a new listing comes that meets your criteria. You can leave notes if you like it. You want to say, hey, Regan, I really like this house. I want to see it. You can leave that note and we get it automatically. You can make favorites. You can discard. It's so easy to use. And then, as I say, you're just getting that most up-to-date information.
Yeah, it's a direct line to your local MLS, the same exact data that we as agents use and depend on. It's fed directly from that exact same database and in a way that is been honed for serious home shoppers. So if you're in that phase of your shopping and you've found a connection with an agent, if you haven't, we'll connect with you right here. That's the tool you want to use.
Right.
All these other websites are kind of the larger, like bigger net.
I would say they're the starting point.
The starting point, yeah. And they're fine for that beginning piece. But when you get serious about your home shopping, most people want to use the same exact info that is accurate, up to date. You're going to get notifications for new home listings, notifications for back on market, price adjustments. And it's so easy to fine tune for a shopper. Like we create custom searches based on the information that you as the shopper give us. And if you're a seller, then we're going to connect you with making sure all your data is correct in there when it goes live to make sure that that is then fed to these.
And it's easy to revise your search, if you're looking in a specific area and then, maybe you see 4-bedroom houses and then you're like, you know what, I can do with 3, or, hey, let's not go to this certain area or whatever. We can adjust that easy in ours.
Yeah, if somebody says, well, now instead of having a 30-minute drive to work, I need a 15-minute drive to work, we actually have tools in ours, which is called One Home, and I think that's used by a lot of MLSs, that lets you set up a radius from your drive time.
Yep, and you can put in the day and time, and it takes in average traffic in the area and whatnot and calculate that for you.
Extremely powerful tool that's geared towards serious home shoppers. So if that's the stage that you're gravitating to, then you need to connect with an agent who can get you connected to that One Home, because it does require an agent to set it up for you. It's kind of by invitation.
Yep.
Yeah.
I would say that's the most important takeaway for today is, get with your agent, get with us, use the MLS provided website access for the best information in the story.
Yeah, and it has an app that's for mobile devices as well, so you're not tied to just using like a standard browser type of thing. Absolutely. If you're curious about it and just kind of want to see how that works, reach out to us. Our contact information is below.
Yep.
Connect with us on social media as always. You can find me on social media at Realtor Regan.
And you can find me on social media, B Quinn Realtor,
And smash that subscribe button right there.
yes, don't forget to do that. Like and share as always, and we'll catch you next time.
Thanks, everyone.